What's up, guys? It's Dr. Jim. I am your CBD expert, your natural health care expert, and your worldwide virtual health coach. And I want to welcome you to tonight's live. It is a very, very hot topic and a very, very sensitive topic. So when you're getting on, just go ahead and, I want to know whether you're coming in live or on the replay. So go ahead and put that in. So the title for tonight's talk is CBD oil and autism spectrum disorders. Now this is a big deal, all right? So we are going to treat it, I know I get loud and I get crazy, but we're going to treat this with a lot of respect, okay? So I want everyone out there to treat this with a lot of respect when we're paying attention to it. So tonight we're talking about CBD oil and autism spectrum disorder. So when you're getting on tonight, I want you to let me know whether you're coming in live, because I want to know, are you getting the full energy of Dr. Jim live, or are you watching it on the replay? But either way, it's going to be a really, really good one. Very, very, very important information. So before we get started talking about CBD oil and autism spectrum disorders, I want to give you a disclaimer. Now, the number one disclaimer is, first of all, I am not your doctor. You're not my patient tonight. There's nothing about this video that constitutes a doctor-patient relationship. So please don't change the treatment of yourself or your child or anybody that you know because you heard me talk about something really cool in this video. Number two, CBD oil is a natural substance. It is not a medication. Okay? So therefore, I don't claim to diagnose, treat, or cure any specific disease with CBD oil. Okay, that includes autism. All right. So anything awesome that we hear about CBD oil and how it might benefit autism tonight, it does not make it, or that I'm not saying that it is a treatment, a diagnosis, or a cure for autism. Okay, and I want you to think about that, because I know a lot of people that get on these calls are a lot of people that get on these lives maybe sell CBD oil. So I want you to treat this information with respect. Basically meaning, do not run out to every person you know who has a child with autism and tell them, oh, guess what I heard, and CBD oil can fix your child, or please don't do that, okay? What I'm going to try to give you is the best information that I can gather about how CBD oil may benefit autism, okay? So it's not a treatment. So why is autism so important? Well, I just looked up the most recent stats, all right? And currently, autism is, they are considering autism is about prevalence in about 1 in every 59 children, okay? Can you believe that? 1 of every 59 children is currently, could be on the spectrum, all right? And that's mind-blowing. I remember not just a couple years ago, they were saying it was 1 in every 161 children, and that was mind-blowing. And now it's 1 in every 59, okay? So this is important stuff. So we're going to give it that level of respect, okay? Now, what are the symptoms of autism? Well, listen, if you have someone in your family, if you have a friend, if you know anybody that has autism or an autism spectrum disorder, or in their family or their children do, then they already know what the symptoms are. This video is not really intended to be an exhaustive, like, what is autism and how is it diagnosed, okay? So if you have someone in your family or that has autism, you guys already know all the symptoms far better than any medical professional out there. I've worked with a number of children that had autism and their parents know more about autism and the research than any doctor they've ever been to, okay? So I know you're probably the same. So this is what we want to talk about, all right? So how could CBD oil be beneficial, or how could it help in autism spectrum disorders? Well, some of these things I have to read, because I got to tell you, this was so important to me. I wasn't just going to, talk in generalities. I want real information. So a recent study published in the Journal of Neurology, it was research done in Israel. They've been doing some of the most amazing cannabis research out there, okay? But in a recent study, they showed that CBD oil improved conditions in autistic children by 80%. Okay, 80% showed improvement. All right, that's incredible. And these were children that did not respond to conventional drug therapies. So there was an improvement in 80% of children that did not respond to conventional drug therapies. I just think that's incredible. So the children were treated with CBD oil over a period of 7 months. And at the end of the study, they wanted to find out, well, what happened? So 80% noticed a decrease in problematic behaviors, with 62% of them reporting significant improvement. All right? We could stop right there, and that would be all we would need to know. An 80% decrease in problematic behaviors, with 62% reporting significant improvement. That's so awesome. I mean, how exciting is that, right? Now, half of the children had improved communication. Well, I don't know about you, but if you could communicate with your child better, improve communication, how important do you think that is? That's life-changing. So that's amazing. So half of the children had improved communication, and 40% reported a decrease in anxiety. Now, this is where this kind of misleading a little bit, because only one third didn't even start with any anxiety. So really, if 40% of the leftover 2/3 really means about 60% of the children that had anxiety symptoms actually believed that it decreased anxiety. So that's incredible, right? So this is the research. This is what's coming out. And Jerry, you are exactly right. It was the Israeli doctors that really discovered the endocannabinoid system, all right? And they're the ones who, they were the pioneers in this kind of research. And so for them to come out with this study is, and this was from an article I read from August 2018. So this is really very recent research, okay? I think it's incredible, all right? So how could it have that kind of positive impact, right? I think that's, the mechanism. Why could it have that kind of positive impact? Well, number one, we know autism and autism spectrum disorders they have their hands in many different parts of the body. Many different systems aren't really acting right or communicating well. And just like Jerry was mentioning, that the Israeli doctors discovered this endocannabinoid system, all right? And what they found out, is there's a system in your body, the endocannabinoid system. And what it does is it helps every system in the body communicate with every other system in the body. That sounds pretty awesome, right? So whether you have autism or not, I'm fairly certain you would want all of the systems in your body communicating well together, right? Well, it's especially important in autism spectrum disorders because there's so many different organ systems and problems that seem out of balance and out of sync that getting all of them to try to talk and communicate well together would be of utmost importance. And that's number one reason why CBD oil could help with autism. Number two, there's something that is becoming very hot right now. It's something called the gut-brain axis, okay? So it's really how the gut communicates with the brain, and the brain communicates with the gut. And what they've actually found out is the gut sends significantly more information to the brain than the brain actually tells the gut what to do. So it's almost like your gut is controlling your brain more than your brain controls your gut. That was mind-blowing the first time I heard that. So what we know about kids that have autism, all right, is they tend to have a lot of gastrointestinal problems and, constipation and flatulence and abdominal pain and lots of dysfunction in the gut, all right? Now, along with that, there's gut inflammation. There's increased gut permeability. Remember, we've talked about it before, leaky gut, where the gut barrier is broken down so that there's whole food proteins go through the gut lining and get into the bloodstream and generate an immune response. So you have this hyperactive immune response. So increased gut permeability is a problem with autism. And then all of this leads to an imbalance in the gut microbiota. All the things that live in the gut, it becomes this increased amount of bad guys and a decreased amount of good guys. Now, this is what they found out. In the research is this increase of what they call pathogenic bacteria. It created something called propionic acid. Now, why is that important? Well, when they took this propionic acid and they injected it into rats, rats developed autism-like symptoms. They began to act and move and do things much like autistic behaviors. So we know this gut-brain axis and these pathogenic bacteria in the gut are creating this propionic acid, and propionic acid can drive autistic-like behavior. All right? Now, where does CBD oil come in when all this comes into it? Well, my whole last video was all about how CBD oil helps improve the gut, right? So we know that CBD oil helps reduce gut inflammation, right? We also know that CBD oil helps reduce gut permeability. So that leaky gut, it helps tighten up the tight junctions so that less stuff seeps through into the bloodstream so that the immune system can calm down a little bit. And then number 3, we know, and we talked about this last time, is that CBD oil has this unique ability to really kind of clear out some of the weeds in the gut microbiota. It kills some of the bad guys. Well, guess what? These are the bad guys that are making propionic acid, and propionic acid, when injected into rats, makes them have autistic behaviors. So, how amazing is it that you can take CBD oil and it can improve gut health, and that gut health helps improve the gut-brain axis? Now, do you think that could have a positive impact? Could that be one of the reasons why there was an 80% improvement in problematic behaviors with 62% reporting significant improvement? Or a 50% improvement in communication, right? Or a 60% decrease in anxiety and autism. Like, isn't that amazing? So that's number 1, or number 2. So we have the endocannabinoid system helping everything talk together. Number 2, we have an improvement in the gut-brain axis by reducing gut permeability, reducing gut inflammation, and helping kill off the pathogenic bacteria that are making propionic acid. Now, the third part, and like I said, I just want everybody to know, I'm not an autism expert. This is not meant to be an exhaustive, every way in which autism or autism spectrum disorders may be driven or what could be going on, but it certainly gives us a really good reason to say CBD oil is something you probably want to try. So the third part of autism and autism spectrum disorders that we're going to talk about is something called neurotransmitter imbalance, okay? So we've now talked about a disruption of the gut-brain axis, but then there's also neurotransmitter imbalances. Now, some of that neurotransmitter imbalances are actually driven by the gut imbalance. So that propionic acid that we just talked about, the way that it when injected into mice, it makes them exhibit autism-like behaviors is because the neurotransmitter imbalances basically works like this. You get too many of the excitatory neurotransmitters and too few of the inhibitory ones. So for every action in the brain, there's another chemical that makes it calm down. Because if it's constant action, actually that's how you get epilepsy, all right? A chronic excessive firing with nothing shutting it off, and you have a seizure, all right? And so what they found out is this propionic acid actually increases the excitatory neurotransmitters in the brain. So the glutamate and the aspartate are increased from this propionic acid. And propionic decreases the inhibitory ones, like GABA and serotonin and dopamine. All right? So we already know now that, healing that gut is at the top of the list, because not only is it creating problems in the gut, but it also is now disrupting our neurotransmitters. All right? But now, so we know how CBD oil can help in the gut, but what about with these neurotransmitters? Well, this is what's kind of cool. We know that CBD oil has a positive impact on neurotransmitters. Number one is, what do we want to do in this case? Well, we want to bring down or calm down the excitatories and increase the inhibitories, right? That's going to bring us back to balance, because we already know that it's already tilted this way and we want to tilt it this way. Well, number one is that we know that CBD oil acts on the 5-HT1A receptor in the brain. That's a serotonin receptor, and it acts just like serotonin. So it has a calming effect on the nervous system, all right? So if you can help calm down the nervous system, do you think that would be good for autism and autism spectrum disorders? Of course it would. Really, really important. Number two is that The most important inhibitory brain chemical is called GABA. All right? GABA is the most important. It is the most inhibitory. After a sharp firing, GABA comes out and it literally can shut off the firing instantaneously. Well, we know that CBD oil increases the activity of GABA receptors. All right? So it basically makes GABA receptors more easily bind to a receptor. It makes GABA bond to the receptors even more easily and more quickly, and that has an amazing ability to try to calm down the nervous system, calm down the brain. All right? I mean, how cool is that, right? And then number 3 is that we know that anandamide is a natural cannabinoid your body makes. All right? It's anan means joy and bliss, and obviously we want more joy and bliss in our brains and our nervous system, especially if there's autism spectrum disorders. And we know that CBD oil basically blocks the enzyme that breaks down anandamide. So you can increase the anandamide in your brain, which helps calm the brain down. How cool is that, right? So we're not only talking about how CBD oil. I mean, so let's just recap. I mean, it's too much information. It's a lot of information. It's a lot of technical stuff. But I want you to understand how important this stuff is. It's important, and I'm excited about this because, man, you have to understand what this can do. 1 in 59 children are now considered to have an autism spectrum disorder, and CBD oil has the potential to have a positive impact. All right? Not that it's going to cure or heal or fix it all. I'm not saying that. But it could have a positive impact. And if you could have a positive impact in your own family, couldn't you imagine? I mean, could you just imagine what that would do? It'd be amazing. So how could CBD oil help with autism spectrum disorders? Well, number 1, we know that there's the endocannabinoid system that helps all the systems in the body talk, and we know that autism is a sort of a multifunctional, there's many systems at play here, so helping create balance in all the systems is going to be good if you have an autism spectrum disorder or someone in your family does. All right? Number 2, it helps with the gut-brain axis, all right? We know that kids and people with autism often have a tremendous amount of gut problems. Gut inflammation, increased gut permeability, so a lot of leaky gut, and then they have an imbalance in the microbiota in the gut. They got more bad guys. Well, these bad guys are making this propionic acid, and we know that propionic acid, when injected into rats, gives them autism-like behaviors. So CBD oil helps reduce gut inflammation, helps heal gut permeability problems, and it helps kill bad guys in the gut. It's awesome. All right? So I think it would be worth a try. And then the third part is neurotransmitter imbalances. All right? Because of this, things like the propionic acid and other things that we may not even know about yet, but there seems to be a significant increase in the excitatory neurotransmitters like glutamate and aspartate. Now, this is what I want something you to know. It has nothing to do with CBD oil. Glutamate, aspartate, all right? What does those sound like? Monosodium glutamate, MSG, all right? If you have a child or anyone that you know that has autism or an autism spectrum disorder or ADHD, do not let them have anything with MSG in it, all right? Because you are just giving glutamate into their body, which is an excitatory neurotransmitter. All right? It's bad news. All right? You're going to make a bad problem worse. Number 2, aspartate. What does that sound like? A whole lot like aspartame. All right? So we do not want you to be putting like diet drinks, even like sugar-free chewing gum. If they're chewing on that, they're getting aspartame into their body, and it's converting into aspartate in their brain, and that's an excitatory neurotransmitter, and it's making the problem worse, all right? So you got to get them off of everything that says diet. Maybe you're like, well, I can't give them sugar because sugar makes you hyper. But if you're giving them anything with aspartame in it, you're making it even worse. So please don't do that, all right? So no diet anything and no MSG, all right? Now back to CBD. right? Because you have too much glutamate and aspartate, all right? And you have a reduction in things like GABA, serotonin, and dopamine. Well, we know that CBD oil, number one, it can increase serotonin levels by acting on the 5-HT1A receptor in the brain, basically acting like serotonin, increasing, and it helps the body produce serotonin. So you get more of a serotonin calming effect. Number two, it helps for GABA, which we said is the number one inhibitory brain chemical. It helps calm the brain the most, all right? GABA, CBD oil helps improve GABA receptors so that GABA can attach to the receptor more easily and calm the brain down. Number three, we know that CBD oil helps increase the natural chemical anandamide in the body by reducing the enzyme that breaks it down. So these are the ways, and not all of them, just the ones, you know, that we can fit into a nice short video to really just get you excited, man. Autism, 1 in 59 kids currently have some type of autism spectrum disorder. I'm sure if you throw in ADHD, and then, I mean, these things, there's overlap between this, there's overlap with epilepsy, there's overlap with ADHD, there's overlap with anxiety. There's so much overlap in all of these, and it's unbelievable. And CBD oil has this amazing ability to work in a lot of places to bring a lot of things into balance. So I highly recommend it, all right? Now, just know this. If your child has autism, or a friend does, or you have a grown child with autism, just realize that when you put CBD oil in the body, if they have a messed up gut, and there's all these pathogenic bacteria in there, and CBD oil starts killing it, there is going to be die-off. And I'm sure you've done this before. Have you ever said, oh, I'm going to give my child probiotics, and they had this horrible reaction? It's because things started to die off, and it released toxins, and then that went to the brain, and it was a mess. So just know that, just like I tell everyone with CBD oil, you have to start, especially in these cases, you got to start really, really low. I mean, I'd start with 1 drop in the morning and 1 at night. And you increase incredibly slow. And let the body, let it kill things slowly. Let it increase. Notice, that study was over 7 months long, all right? Don't expect that it's going to make a huge change in a week, okay? But you start in low and increase very slowly, and you're gonna reduce the amount of negative impacts that you might see. All right? Now, that's really what I got tonight, guys. I hope you got value out of tonight. If you got value, just give me a thumbs up or a like. I hope it meant a lot to you. I hope this was important. Just please remember, this is important stuff to me. So if you want to know the CBD oil that I recommend, just go ahead and messenger. Don't put it in the comments. Just message me directly and ask me what should I get, and I'll tell you. I'll send you my recommendation so that you can order from me. If someone else sent you this video, please message them, and they're gonna tell you exactly what you should get. Okay. Also, this stuff is so important to me. I'm building a team. All right. I'm building a team of us that are going out and we're sharing this information, and we are selling CBD oil. You got it, all right? So if you're committed to be on this march and you want to be on my team, all right? And then you go ahead and you direct message me, say I want to be on your team, and I'm going to help you. We're going to build this. We're going to help a lot of people, okay? Now, if somebody else sent you this video and you want to get involved in CBD oil, go ahead and message them back, and I'm sure they'd be glad to help you as well, all right? Please like this, share it. Please share it everywhere, man. This is life-saving information, so share it everywhere, like it. Please go ahead and, if you wouldn't mind, subscribing to my YouTube channel, because you never know. Facebook is funny. You don't know what they're going to do, what they're going to say, what we can talk about in a week from now. But so if you go to my YouTube channel, Dr. Jim Holland, please subscribe to it. We put, after these videos, after I do these, we put them all on there, so you can also share them with your friends and everybody else. That's it. So if you want CBD oil, message me. If you want to be on my team, message me. I did, and this doesn't have anything to do with the autism, I did create the world's first online health transformation program featuring CBD oil. So if you have high blood sugar, high blood pressure, you want to lose weight, you feel bad, you got arthritis, and you just want a full health transformation, turn your life around, man, then I created a program to help you with that. We use CBD oil, we use diet, we use specific supplements. Go ahead and just put yes in the comments if you're interested in that. We will send you a link in Messenger, and you can go check out a video of just me, just like now, just describing to you what the program is all about. There's no commitment on your part just to check it out. I go through everything, what's in it, and even the cost and everything. So please, if you're interested in a health transformation program, turn your health around using CBD oil, diet, and specific supplements for your condition, put yes in the comments. Go on my YouTube. Please subscribe to that. We are changing the world, people. So I'm just excited to be a part of this group. I'm glad to be a part of your life. Thanks for letting me be a part of it. Please share this with everybody. And just like I tell my son every day before he goes to school, be your very best today. Hashtag never quit. And I believe that God wants the very, very best for you. And the day you believe that, it will change your life forever. Have an awesome, awesome night.